Hello, hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome. WrestleMania is here. Ah, and I'd be more excited if WWE was more excited about it. Um, it seems like they're not very excited about it, but we're gonna do it anyway. We did it last year. We did it the last couple years. This time I joined, of course, with Dan as usual, but this time we have the infamous Peanut. Welcome in, Peanut.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem. Dan, how are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, Mike. How are you?
Good, good. So, WrestleMania, obviously, as a wrestling fan, it's a big deal for us. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as 40. Like, that would be unreasonable to ask. But I did expect them to at least try. And I found a lot of the build this year was just meh. And, like, they only started doing it the last. It feels like most of the matches were, like, came up with a couple weeks ago. Here we go. Let's throw them in. Whereas last year Triple H claimed he had it 80% booked by October. It doesn't seem like that was the case this year. But I don't know how you guys feel.
I mean, personally, for me, I obviously you made a good point saying that you can't follow like it's hard to follow up what they did last year because WrestleMania 40 was so amazing. But it does feel like they're not really even trying. They're like, oh well, it's not going to be as good as last year, so who cares? And it's I don't know. I'm just nowhere near as hyped for it as I was last year.
How do you feel about it, Peanut?
Honestly, I don't feel the same hype that like how Dan's saying. Like I didn't feel the same hype. There was a lot more build last year versus this year, and it's insane to think. Like I get it. There's some good matches out there, but they're dropping certain people that should be up there. Some matches I don't think should be booked. I feel there's certain people that are more deserving versus what we had last year, where it just seemed right, like through every single match that we were seeing.
Yeah, I'm not understanding some of the pathing here. Uh,
It
I did skip, and that might be a bad idea. He's asking who gave him an open forum. Who gave Peanut an open forum? I did skip. I'm sorry if this goes awry. It is my fault. I can't blame Peanut. It'd be my fault.
Sketch Jones.
This is pre-recorded live. It'll be going on the YouTube this weekend through WrestleMania weekend. And yeah, like as you're saying, Peanut, like there's some people that deserve to be there. Some matches don't make sense to me. I thought the bigger money match was Jade Cargill versus Bianca, not Naomi. No offense to Naomi, but I thought it made more sense to be Bianca and Jade Cargill and have straight up just Io Sky defending the title against someone else. To be honest,
or EO against Rio.
or
What's wrong
just
with
Io and
that?
Rhea. I did skip. I might regret this. Or what happened to the SmackDown tag team scene? They seemed like they were doing a lot more work on that, and suddenly Raw's tag team titles are the ones being defended. That doesn't make any sense.
No, why aren't the Profits defending their titles? Like they had like four teams on their backs about
You're
it.
telling me
Now it's
you
like
yeah. They could have
also
done.
it.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say it feels like on the whole, and I'll get more into it with a couple of other with some of these matches that we're gonna talk about, but I feel like on the whole, WWE was planning on other things happening, and then things kind of just got in the way, so they had to change what they were doing.
It's definitely feeling that
Um,
way.
yeah, it really feels like that to me. And there's one specific match that I will talk about that you and I talked about 2 nights ago.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that really to me feels like it's just sort of thrown together. Like it makes sense in a way, but
Mhm.
like it it feels thrown together because what they wanted to do couldn't happen.
Yeah, like we didn't need a fatal four way for the IC title. I get why they did it, but we'll get to that later. And again, the Raw tag team titles, the world tag team titles. It made more sense to do Street Profits DIY. It made way more sense to do that because they spent the entire 4 months on that.
And now they're not even gonna have that. Like, that might be a backlash match at this point, but why not have that on the grand stage? Why do we need New Day versus the War Raiders? Like, that hasn't really been built up at all.
Yeah, Skip. I mean, you say that, but he trolls in my chat all the time.
But it's always funny.
It is usually funny. It's usually the most random shit. That is true. Yeah, like I don't know what else you would like. What would you guys have rather have seen on this based on what they were building up earlier in the year?
I personally would like. I think I'm gonna answer that as we go through the matches because I feel like that makes more sense to me.
Okay.
But
So we'll get to the first one, the actual apparent scheduled first match at WrestleMania, the totally main event match. Main event Jey Uso going for the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther, opening up the entire weekend with main event Jey Uso in totally the main event against
Now,
Gunther, the world champion.
I'm gonna
Alright,
say
hold on,
one.
hold on. Let me jump in on this one. I do not get why they keep naming these the biggest main events just to even open up. I get it. They're the opener. The opener is supposed to get you hyped.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep naming these spectacular main events. I'm like, guys, if you're gonna actually main event the whole dang show. Like, I get it. You need a banger to get the crowd involved, to get anybody watching the actual stream involved and wanting to be part of it. But stop calling it main events.
Yeah, like you could have opened it with LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, and if Jacob were to win, say that probably get the crowd going because he's super over right now.
Exactly, and it's
Fatu's a
like,
great guy, crazy guy.
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I gotta make this one joke quick. I make this one point quickly. They're calling main event Jey Uso, but he's jerking the freaking curtain
All the time.
Yeah,
All the time. He very rarely main events anything. And when he does, he's getting his
never
ass
main
kicked.
events anything. Like, he main evented pay-per-views with Roman.
Hey, he main evented the Royal Rumble.
Roman.
Did he main event?
Yeah, I'm not even sure he did that.
Not as main event Jey Uso, but maybe as like 2012 tag team Jey Uso.
Not even Saturday Night's main event.
I don't even think he's done that.
Didn't he have one with Gunther?
He did for the IC title, but I don't think it was a main event.
Didn't he face Priest for the world title too?
See how we don't remember because that's how irrelevant Jey Uso has been most of the time.
It's like he faced Priest for the world title at Backlash last year and lost.
Yes.
So like, he's fought for this title before and has already proven that he can't win it.
Why don't we just call him runner-up?
Because it's not as catchy.
You're right.
And like,
you don't want to eat to that.
Like, don't get me wrong. I believe, in my prediction, is probably Jay is going to win. But I'm not super pleased by it. And I know it's because Jay is really over right now. And again, you got to strike when the iron's hot. But the company does not seem to want to do that.
But I think he's barely getting hot. Because his promos, he's not yeeting as much. I think he's more passionate on his promos. Because when he's just yeeting the whole time, yes, he's getting the crowd hyped, but you're not really saying anything to get this promo over.
Right.
In the past couple of weeks, he's finally starting to get the promo over, but why didn't he start this way? If he started with more heat, I think people would be more invested in it.
He should have done it right from the Rumble instead of waiting for the last couple of weeks.
I personally, I had a huge debate with Yeti and Zod about this last week, but I just don't buy Jey Uso as a main event level guy.
But he's main event Jey Uso.
You can call him that all you want. You can call him anybody can call him that. Sure, why not? But I just don't buy him as like world champion level guy as a world champion. I just don't see it. Maybe in the future, but
Yeah.
I view like, and this is might be a hot or controversial take, but I personally view the yeeting thing as a comedy gimmick. I view it
Uh
as a comedy gimmick because look
yeah.
at the look at the reactions from the commentary team
I mean,
when
Pat
all
McAfee
that
screaming,
happens
"Oh, I
is
eat it on myself!" Like, oh Jesus Christ!
like, come on, it's a like this is the guy you're trying to push as a future world champion, and you're making jokes about basically making jokes about coming on yourself.
Like, I see it as a similar thing to LA Knight. LA Knight wasn't trying to be over; he just got randomly over, and they finally pulled the trigger on him. But as a mid card guy, because LA Knight is honestly kind of limited in what he could do, so they're not going to make him the world champion. But here they are doing the exact same thing with Jey Uso, who's also kind of one dimensional like LA Knight in that way.
But I think the fact that they started calling him main event Jey Uso kind of hurts him,
It does.
just because it really hurts him because it sets the bar way, way too high. It says it's basically trying to tell people we want him to be he's a main event guy, but really he isn't.
That being said,
Like,
who you guys gonna pick to win the World Heavyweight Championship? Does Gunther retain, or does Jay, or do they actually put the belt on Jey Uso here?
oh, I don't want it to happen. I really don't. I want Gunther to win, but I just don't think it's going to happen. It's probably going to be Jay, especially because of where it is on the card. They're going to want to start the crowd off hot, and I don't want it to happen, but Jay's probably going to win.
How about you, Peanut?
I'm going with the hot take on this. I'm going Gunther on a DQ.
Oh damn! Gunther to DQ. They start the crowd pissed Vince McMahon style.
It's
I
gonna
really
be so it's gonna be this, and he's actually I don't even think it's gonna be DQ. I think there's gonna be interference. He's not gonna get caught, but the crowd's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Because you're gonna get someone running in and low blowing him or something. He's gonna knock him out. Crowd's gonna be like, "What the heck? He should have won." No, Uso is not gonna get it. He shouldn't get it. It's like giving it to Sammy again.
How about
Like he beat Gunther's streak.
do you think it's gonna be Ludwig Kaiser comes in and just sacks him?
Yeah, he's gonna sack
no.
him. He's gonna help out with that 0-3, and just he's gonna get Gunther going.
I actually I'm gonna have a here's a thought I just had that's kind of going off. It's kind of going off of what Peanut just said. Um, maybe, and I'm not saying this is the best course of action to take, but maybe they try and reignite the Jimmy and Jay thing again, and Jimmy kind of comes out and is and like and costs Jay the match, and then in the future kind of goes like, "You let Gunther beat the hell out of me, and you did nothing about it," like sort of thing,
Yeah,
and it kind of leads to another thing.
potentially because like I feel like they were both disappointed last year's match. It was the biggest letdown match last year. Like that had a way more expectation. The build to them was pretty good. Like their whole package for it was pretty good. But then their match was such a letdown. I would think they want to run it back with a better plan. Um,
Mm,
but I
I
think it'll be if that's the case, it'll be for the world title. And my thought was Jimmy comes back and wonders why Jay didn't help him. Jay didn't do enough to help him. He resents Jay again a little bit because of it, and Jay's like, listen, man, I'll defend it against you, and they'll do it at like Backlash and give Jay something to build on afterwards.
mm, I,
Uh,
I'm not I'm not too big on that idea.
No,
What
but I don't
what
know
I
what else you
really
do with
think
Jay. really don't.
But I really no. If it's just spinning off into something wild, I can see main event Jimmy Uso. They're gonna be the main event squad. That's
Well, what I would have rather see was Jimmy going after the U.S. title, and then they have like this. They redo the whole Chris Benoit Eddie Guerrero thing with the Usos. Like the brothers leave WrestleMania both champions. Because
I
like
mean, it's
that to me as a moment would have been better if Jimmy was on the card, but he's not even anywhere near it.
well, no. I could see him accompanying Jay to the ring if he's gonna come out and make an appearance. But I I really don't want Jay to win. I really don't. I like Mike. You and I are both massive fans of Gunther, and it's like I don't want to see him drop it yet.
I just feel like he's going to, and I feel like Gunther's gonna get it back at some point anyway. Probably SummerSlam or something like that. I don't
No,
know.
I had a thought of what they might do.
Okay.
But I'll get into it later because it ties into another match.
Well, we'll get to number 2 then. For the World Tag Team Championship, the totally not hastily put together War Raiders versus the New Day, the heel New Day, in a match that I didn't even know was on this card until like last night because I didn't even know they were doing this match, to be honest. And I was like, oh, I guess they're just doing that now. Okay, here we go.
I was so lackluster on this build that the only reason I personally knew about it was because of Wrestle Talk. That's the only reason. And
Me
they
too.
even smack talked it. They smack talked it. There was no build. New Day has been on a downward spiral since that. Oh, I'm betraying Big E. You turn yourself on Big E. Everybody hated you, and you didn't do anything about it. That story just went downhill so fast.
They've barely won since.
Yeah, I think they've won like 2 matches since. And it's ridiculous. The whole build that these guys have had, they had perfect opportunity when they did do that Big E turn, and they did nothing. And then they brought up so much stuff, even when they were supposed to supposedly split. Hey, you've never gone for world title. Me and E both won a title, and you haven't done anything. Like, come on. They can build from that. They never did. They're just like, hey, we're turning on Big E, and all of a sudden, downhill goes your career. Why? Because you guys didn't build upon it, and now all of a sudden
They did
you got
nothing. They
a
did nothing.
match at WrestleMania for what?
They don't even deserve to be in this spot. We talked about the SmackDown one being the hotter division. They should be on the card. Like
It's
you have Motor City Machine Guns and DIY and Street Profits, and you're not going to use any of them on WrestleMania. You have the Motor City Machine Guns, and you're not going to put them at WrestleMania. Are you serious?
Exactly. The first
problem with
time you got them.
the problem is a lot of fans, like WWE fans, don't know who they are.
Yeah, I know, but like you brought them in as a replacement to the Lucha Bros because the Lucha Bros weren't ready in time yet because of Tony Khan. So they just changed plans with Penta and Phoenix, and now Motor City Machine Guns are in this spot. The thing is, Dan, how else do you get them hyped though? You put them on WrestleMania.
Exactly. You could have done something similar to what they did last year, except it's only for the one titles. You could have had you could have easily brought in the DIY, the Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, and hell, I'd even put Pretty Deadly in there because they're pretty entertaining.
4-way ladder match.
Put it in as like a ladder or a TLC.
That would have been fun.
That would have been very fun, and you would have had the guys in that could have done the high spots, like Montez and Johnny Gargano, and maybe even Sabin or Shelley.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But to me, this is like this kind of just seems like Triple H is huge on his War Raiders. I know people are thinking that New Day wins, but I'm kind of thinking they're just because I feel like there are gonna be a lot of changes here. I think this is one title that's not gonna change. I think the War Raiders retain because the New Day have done nothing to prove that they're gonna win anything. And I also think if I heard Wrestle talk about this one. One of the only reasons it might be on the WrestleMania card is because Big E might cost him this title.
But then what does it lead to? Because Big E can't
Exactly.
wrestle anymore.
Exactly. So it wouldn't make sense to do that. So I think the War Raiders just win outright, to be honest. And then the New Day, maybe they do a breakup angle because they just can't get it going.
But then what do you do with them after that? Because they're pretty much done with that. Without each other, they're pretty much done.
Woods, I don't know. Kofi might be near retirement anyway, to be honest. Like Kofi's body's pardon?
Enjoy. I'll take one from Wrestle Talk. Enjoys nice catering.
That's the thing is Woods has other projects in the company anyway also. So I don't think he's actually honestly that concerned about it. Like he runs a successful business within the company that he gets paid to do it. He gets paid more to do his gaming stuff than he does wrestling at this point.
I forgot he wrestles.
like literally, that's for that's what the three of them are focused on doing a lot outside the ring anyway. So just have them keep doing that as ambassadors for the company. They're fun. They're fun guys to have as ambassadors.
Yeah, I just don't get why.
It shouldn't be on the card, this match, at all.
No.
What do you think, Dan? Who do you think's winning this one?
I want it to be the New Day just to like legitimize their heel turn, but I just personally I don't care. I personally don't care which team wins this, just because why is it here?
So you're abstaining from picking, is what you're saying.
Oh, I'm saying I want to pick New Day, but
Okay.
Otherwise I don't really care.
And I'm doing War Raiders. What are you going with, Peanut?
I'm going War Raiders. If you go with New Day, Vince Russo booked this.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Yeah,
No.
I cannot see the New Day pick this up. I really can't.
I
They got to
can't
do
either.
something completely heelish just to get the crowd pissed off, just so they can have more fun time of El Grande Americano beating on poor little Ray. Because Grande Americano is going to be taking that the next match. So unless you want to piss off the crowd that much to get hyped for Grande when he pops, comes out of the entranceway, doing some Superfly stuff, you gotta make sure it goes War Raiders.
Can you imagine a DQ finish in the first match, then this one is a bullshit finish in the second match, and then you get El Grande Americano? It's like, God damn it!
Which I know there was a WrestleMania a couple years ago where everything was like, or I don't know if it was WrestleMania, but everything was like a fucking DQ.
Oh,
Like
so
three
pretty much
DQs in the whole night.
I don't remember the show that was.
pretty much every WrestleMania until like WrestleMania 14.
No, it was more recent, but
Hey,
yeah,
it was more recently than
bad.
that.
Like it's not like we're gonna get a chloroform like takeout and then come back and take out a giant.
We don't know that with some of the Chicken Fatu on the card.
Yeah, but that was more of a Vince McMahon. Hey, Caesar's Palace, check this out.
No,
This isn't
no.
get chloroformed.
Hang on a minute. You've incorrectly called it Caesar's Palace. It was more like Caesar's parking lot because it was in the parking lot of Caesar's
No, it was
Palace.
Caesar's Palace.
It was the part. Was it inside the building, Mike?
Of course,
Not
they told me it
physically,
was.
but it was on property.
It was in the parking lot. It was in Caesar's parking lot.
I have technically walked through royalty because I walked through there before.
God.
Match number 3, Rey Mysterio.
I took a Vegas trip.
Yeah, wait. Did you see Finkus Maximus?
No.
Did you see JR in a toga? The next
That'd be
match
fantastic.
is Mexican Legend versus Mexican Legend. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Two names that go back in history of Mexican luchador wrestling.
It's the best luchador in history, and then some guy named Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it's totally not Chad Gable in a mask, guys.
No, what are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about.
Dan, how do you see this going? What are your thoughts on this match?
I love Ray, but it's got to be El Grande Americano. It really does.
Give me this 0 to 10, 0 being extremely comedic, 10 being serious. Where do you rate this?
Oh, he's super serious.
I think they're trying to make it like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, where it's like, oh no, maybe, I don't know, I don't think it's Gable, even though it obviously is.
No, man,
it's like
it's totally someone
Gable.
else. It's Matt Riddle. It's Malachi Black. He's just covering his tattoos
with lots and lots of makeup, apparently.
How about you, Peanut? What do you think?
I'm taking Grande Americano, but they're gonna do a swerve to it.
Okay.
They're gonna do a swerve where you're gonna see 3 of them out there. All of a sudden, they're all gonna be about the same shape, same mask. 2 of them are gonna. If you've ever seen the movie Ready to Rumble, where they do the 4 corners of death.
Okay.
It's not gonna be like that because there'll only be 3 of them, but you're gonna have one on each side. Or let's say it was the Shield coming in. You have one on each side. There's gonna be confusion. The ref is gonna be looking like, what the heck? The actual Grande Americano is gonna come in and then just hit right from the back and take the pin. I'm telling you, this one to me, this is gonna be silly, but it's gonna be revealed that it's gonna be one of the Creed brothers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Julius Creed into the mask, and Chad be like, "See, I was sick the whole time, Pierce."
So you think it's gonna be like the finish to Doink versus Crush at WrestleMania 9?
100%. I 100%.
With
Yes.
like the second Doink kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You make it sound like it's a bad thing, Dan.
I mean, it's good. It's meant to be funny, but like, you're not exactly getting anything before this that's gonna set the world on fire.
El Grande
And then,
Americano is a legend. He's been around for 40 years, Dan.
He's been around since Chad Gable was negative something years old.
Yeah, it's because it's not Chad Gable. He's been
okay.
sick, Dan. He had a doctor's note. Pierce saw it himself.
A doctor's note that hardly ever works at regular jobs.
Well, WWE's very very forward thinking. I say that tongue in cheek.
They're very employee. They're for the worker.
Yeah, a company that employs people like the Rock and Dana White are forward thinking.
Who once employed Vince McMahon for many years.
Hey, to be fair, they were pretty much founded by him, so they can't really say much about it.
No.
A company that employs a guy that makes fun of other companies' owners, and yet when AEW does it, it's totally wrong.
Of course it is. What are you talking about?
That being said, I honestly think Ray probably wins again at WrestleMania, even though I think Chad Gable, quote unquote Chad Gable, probably needs this. But I don't know in their history of Chad Gable booking have they ever given him anything. So, like,
They couldn't even give him the IC title, man.
I just have a feeling it might be like Ray, but I'm not entirely sure. I was hoping it was a mask versus mask. I was saying before we started that I was really hoping for a mask versus mask, and then that's where you get like an unmasking of El Grande Americano.
Yeah, but why would you end that so quickly?
Yeah, I don't think Ray needs the win. It's got to go to Americano. Like, yeah, Ray's been with the
Maybe.
company so long. They always give him wins, but he doesn't need the win. He already has his whole career cemented.
Hmm.
Everybody loves his legacy. Yeah, you're gonna get wins, losses. He doesn't need it. They're gonna give it to Grand Americano. They're gonna do a swerve, and then just grow upon it. Oh, look, he learned all this from Mexico. He's such a great guy. And then all of a sudden, he's gonna get more luchadors to join him. He's
So,
gonna get Rey and Penta following him.
so you think it's
They
gonna end
move
up being a whole syndicate against Rey Mysterio?
against the LWO. Yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna with Penta and Phoenix. He's gonna recreate the Death Triangle.
They just can't get packs. They're like, well, we have to do something.
They're gonna put it in Spanish too.
So you think it's gonna be like in Backlash then?
Triangle de Muerte.
They might. Peanut, I don't even doubt that. That's the thing.
I wouldn't be surprised. I make it as a joke, but I will not be surprised.
Do you think they just do a rematch, like a trio situation at like Backlash or later on?
I think they'll keep it going for a while because even though I say it as a joke, this can actually be serious that actually does occur because some of the booking they do sometimes, I get it. They're not going to be serious 100%,
Mm-hmm.
but to get the crowd invested, you have to have some comedic matches in there. You have to have some comedic booking. Why do you think they keep R-Truth around? R-Truth
Right.
is hilarious.
And they also have to worry about like a 2-night SummerSlam this year now, so they need to build stuff. Triple H books long term for a lot of his stuff. He might be trying to plant seeds for that later down the line too.
Exactly, because yes, like they talk about like Ray and Penta loving Ray, but they've been talking about it so much recently, especially in their interviews. I feel that people aren't gonna believe when they finally turn on him. Because when I would have first watched Penta and Phoenix, when I first seen them myself, was Lucha Underground. They had matches against Ray.
Yep.
So just seeing that, they have great ring chemistry. Just being together, so I can see them doing a thing where they turn on Ray and join Americano and become this faction.
Potentially, because like obviously they're gonna probably do another shakeup, and I honestly thought the Lucha Bros should both be on Raw because they need that division to do something.
They need an actual
Yeah, they
worthy
really
tag team on
do.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, like they could be on there. Say they don't do that, Peanut, and it's like the New Day wins. They could do New Day versus the Lucha Bros.
It could.
And it'd just be at least a fun thing to see.
Yeah, that would be bad. What I honestly feel the wrestling world really needs, which I know they're not gonna do. They're always against each other. They're trying to become this monopoly, where they should share some more people between companies like AEW and WWE. Like I get it, they hate each other because hey, you know what? We're the bigger guys. We're this franchise that we're not just wrestling. We're an entertainment group.
I know.
But
I wish
some
I
matches
wish
would be
too.
bangers.
I wish too.
Like some matches between like let's say the Bucks versus the New Day. They've been hating each other for a while. Like if you do like the full elite, because if you have like let's say 3-on-3, you bring the elite over, and then New Day, yeah, they don't have Big E anymore, but they'll get a substitute, and then go from there. You'll have a great match.
And like you could also do well, the Bucks are still kind of aligned with Okada. You could just have Okada in there.
No, I'm talking about who was the third B for the
New Day. For the New Day, that'd be a good one actually. Who would be?
Because if you think about Austin Creed, oh sorry, that's his other name.
Yeah.
And I forgot his actual name that he uses.
Xavier Woods.
See, that's how much irrelevant he is to me right now. Xavier Woods.
It's because he's Austin Creed online.
Yeah, so Xavier Woods with Kenny, that's always your go-to when they're playing games. They're going at it on Street Fighter all the time. and they just talk so much smack where they go meet each other
And
at
they're
a gaming
actually like,
convention and
and
try
they're
they try
actually
going at
friends.
each other.
People
You
think
have that
it.
background.
People think it's way more heated than it is, and I think you feed into it. But Kenny doesn't
Oh, no,
have actual hate
they're
for
great
Xavier.
friends.
Like,
Yeah, they're great friends.
yeah.
And that's the thing, like you can build upon it because what they had that mix up right before they went into AEW. They had, hey, you know what? They posted on WWE, hey, this team, the Young Bucks and Kenny, the Elite from NJPW, are going against our guys from the New Day. So they posted about them one time. That'd
Mm-hmm.
be such an amazing story. I know I'm going farther away from WrestleMania right now, but this is one thing that if you were to do the New Day, if there was some kind of shakeup like that, that's where I would be like, all right, cool, the New Day, now we can do these crazy teams. But at this point, I do not see the New Day or anybody like that.
I think the other
So,
problem, and that might come into the injury thing too. I think the New Day was supposed to face the Wyatt Six, and that's why it's just kind of shoveled in there because they're like, well, Uncle Howdy's injured. We can't possibly use the other three guys in the team, so we're just not gonna do it, which makes no fucking sense to me. You could literally just churn out Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy.
Very
yeah.
easily.
And the thing what they can do since he's injured, what's keeping him from just filming vignettes?
Right!
Like he can be doing vignettes where he's talking about his team, like, oh, we're taking over, we're doing this. He could just be talking.
Bray
He
did it
doesn't
while
have to
injured.
be
Why
doing
couldn't
all this
he?
crazy stuff. Film the vignettes, hype up your team, let them wrestle. Just because you have them, just because you're down, why do they got to be benched?
Yeah, he's like the leader of this cult, like his brother. So why can't he just let the other three guys do their thing? It doesn't make any sense why they just stopped it because of one guy. And apparently Alexa Bliss is tethered to it too, and that's why they stopped her booking all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's absolutely dumb in my opinion.
Because like
Even that, I've heard that they would even take the leadership away from Bo.
it would make sense if it's Alexa, to be honest, because she was so close with Bray.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but Bo is Bray's brother, though.
But they call Alexa Bliss was their sister Abigail.
Right, like on screen, obviously,
Yeah.
Bray never really did anything with Bo Dallas.
On screen, Uncle Howdy is not his brother. You know what I mean?
No,
No.
but then the way that he got presented when he first came back and they had that debut, that thing was fucking fantastic. But they never built upon it. The way they came out at the end of the show, everything was destroyed, everything was flipped over. Somehow Little G was killed in the back for some reason.
Little G.
Or, sorry, Shorty G. Sorry, Shorty G.
And he was fine
Shorty
the next
G
week,
was
by the way.
dead in the back, and somehow he's like, I'm still alive.
He's back the
And he was
next
like, "Oh,
week.
you're back next week."
He's John Cena that like I'm fine actually.
Yeah, that
He's
was
like, I was just
dumb.
pretending.
Like it looked like he was shot in the head. I'm fine, y'all. The next week. Like what? Poor Chad Gable, man. They just like God damn it.
They just don't care. I feel like they just don't care about him as much as they should.
Yeah. I also heard that the El Grande Americano thing was being done by Jeremy Borash as a producer, and I'm here for it.
Oh, I find it absolutely hilarious.
It's very TNA. The more I think about it, it's very TNA.
It very much is.
And Jerry Borash would 100% do it too. So yeah, I guess we're kind of split on that one. We'll move on to the next one. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. In one of the only matches they seemed like they actually cared about building in some way. On this one. Peanut, what do you think?
Honestly, the thing with Naomi, it was pretty obvious at first. It was a little lackluster going into it. Finally, when they had the reveal, it started getting a lot better. The promos Naomi was actually using, it felt much more better where she's not restricted. When she walked out of the company and then eventually went to TNA, it felt weird. Her husband was still there. You weren't hearing anything about her, but I didn't really feel this change when she left. When she came back, all of a sudden, hey, the glow again. I wasn't too hyped, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I preferred her in TNA as Trinity. And just seeing her back, this different change that she's doing in the story, it's actually getting me a lot more hyped
Yeah,
and
it, it's
actually thinking like this actually seems like a good story, the way
mm,
they're building it, the way that their promos are working together in sync. Cargill has gotten better since AEW. She she was undefeated until she finally lost that title, but the way she presented herself was more of a I'm a monster, you can't beat me, but she wasn't that great in the ring. She's gotten a lot better. Her promo work has definitely gotten a lot better.
yeah. Cargill's
And
still not great in singles matches. People that remember that, like the one of the reasons Tony Khan didn't push too hard to keep her was because they didn't have a way to really train her up in the ring because they don't have a performance center. They could coach you all they want, but they don't really have a training facility. So they need former guys. They need already established competitors because they don't have the training center. That's why Harley Cameron probably won't could only go so far there because she's still really green. She's a great character, but ring work wise, she just doesn't have it right now. It's the same thing with Jade Cargill.
yeah, like
I
she's
think
been able to train a lot more, but I I feel at least she's a little bit better, but she's not all the way there. I'm liking the promo work though.
That's why I would
That
rather Bianca
I'm
here because
enjoying.
Bianca could carry Jade probably better than Naomi in my opinion, but I don't know. I really don't know. How do you feel, Dan?
um I personally feel like I actually what you just said I have a differing opinion on. I feel like the reason they went with Naomi here is because I feel like Naomi will sell more for Jade and make Jade's
Mm,
offense look more devastating than what Bianca would.
perhaps. Perhaps it's the
And
case.
keep in mind, this is only Jade's second singles match in WWE.
Oh my
And the first
god.
one and the first one ended in DQ. She hasn't wrestled a
Right.
singles match since King and Queen of the Ring.
Wow. That's true.
Or at least the run up to it anyway. But this is only like her second or third singles match in the WWE because she got thrown into a tag team right away.
Because they knew she couldn't. They WWE
Right
knew she
away?
wasn't ready.
So having her go up against Naomi, who in my opinion will make her look better than what Bianca will,
Okay.
because if you have her face, if you have Jade Cargill up against Bianca, Jade's got to sell because Bianca's gonna get a lot more offense in than what Naomi will, and I'm not sure if you can really believe in Jade Cargill's selling because we haven't really seen it yet.
That's true. That's true.
So, if you really want to make Jade look strong, I kind of am more now seeing why they went with Naomi just because they want to push Jade and make her look super strong. But to do that, Jade's got to win here. I think she is, but if you have her lose to Naomi, then what's the point?
Is it possible that Bianca and Naomi both did it and they're just kind of selling it right now?
It's possible, but I don't think Bianca's going to make an appearance during this match because she's already
No.
doing something else.
No. No. But it could be a Jade versus Bianca thing later on.
And that
Yeah,
actually was gonna go with my next question. Who is Bianca gonna side with at the end?
That's a tough
Naomi.
one. You think
That I
Naomi?
think it's got to be Naomi because I'm sorry, Bianca's needed to turn heel for like 2 years now.
They've given us little sprinkles of it during the triple threat feud, which we'll get to. Because it seems like Bianca's kind of turning into more of like the tweener, and then Rhea and Io are kind of like both in the right in their way, but there's no real heel in that trio except for maybe Bianca. Bianca seems like the most unliked of the three, you know?
Yeah, the fans can't stand Bianca
So I
anymore.
think that's why she's in that triple threat. So I think we might be getting it. So you guys might be right on the Naomi and Bianca coming back together again. And it could be, you know what, Jade, you were ungrateful. I came in to help you, and you've been ungrateful or whatever. It could even be like that. It could even be like that.
I can see it that way. Like you're the outsider. You came from that other company because they never mention it by name. You came from that other company, and you're the outsider to us. So we're against you. That's what I can see happening. Because yeah, she did do the turn. You see the emotion, but at the end of the day, they always do that weird heel turn where you know what? I'm actually gonna side with the bad one.
Triple H likes a justified heel turn. He likes that shit.
Mhm.
Because that was his
Yeah,
bread and butter. That was his bread and butter, being a justified heel.
It turned on everybody.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like their whole thing could very easily be like, hey, you got all this like fame and fortune and all this attention and hype the moment you step foot here. And it's like, we've been working for many years for this, and we
Yeah.
never got the fame that you get.
So I guess
And
we.
I forgot, are they on Raw or SmackDown?
SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Well,
on SmackDown.
Bianca's been on Raw since the Chamber, but the other two are on SmackDown.
But they could do a shakeup again after WrestleMania, building up the next
They
season, quote
usually
unquote. So
and they
Oh,
usually
what?
do.
I
yeah.
didn't know that. They just the lineup I'm looking at. So night one is technically all SmackDown, and night two is Raw.
Kinda. I didn't even notice that.
Except for
Because someone
Gunther and Jey Uso is going to be Raw. That's a Raw match.
is it? Oh, okay.
Grande
Because
Americano
someone
and Rey
just
No, yeah,
Mysterio.
it's kind of split. No, it is kind of split still.
okay. Because someone just put hashtag SmackDown on this list. I'm looking at Wrestle Purist.
No, yeah, no. It's half the matches are it's half and half. It doesn't.
It's like the
Okay.
first,
It also doesn't matter. WWE never follows their own fucking rules with that. All right. Like, they never.
like the first three matches we
Translate
just looked at
LOL.
were all Raw.
So I
Yeah,
guess
'cause
we're all going with Jade Cargill here then.
yeah, because I was gonna say whichever one they're on. So if they're on SmackDown, I can see on SmackDown, Belair's coming out. She's gonna say, "Oh my God, you did it! You whooped her ass," and just turns on her there as Naomi comes smiling. Just, oh my goodness, she did it! Let's go! And it's gonna start a feud between them two and Cargill. Cargill's gonna get some help, but it's gonna be from an outside presence nobody really thinks about.
Ooh. Oh man, it'd be really funny if Mercedes Moné just suddenly is like, "I'm coming, y'all." Sasha
CEO
Banks is
of
back.
WWE.
The boss. No, she'd be the boss again, Dan.
Oh, that'd be better.
Up next, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, United States Championship. LA Knight defending against a guy who's supposed to be a heel, but like the crowd loves them both, so it's kind of interesting.
It's gotta be Jacob Fatu, right? Like,
Dummy, yeah.
Peanut with the dummy, yeah, in the chat.
Yeah. Dummy, yeah.
like it's gotta be Jacob Fatu, just because he is so over right now. I think he deserves that. And then I'm thinking this is gonna lead to a proper face turn for him because Solo's gonna kick him out.
You think
And it's
so?
gonna be
You,
like
you think it's gonna be Solo being jealous of him, and they have they start building that one up?
I think that's what they're going to do, and I think it would be more interesting than what Solo's been doing for the past 2 years.
Poor Solo. They tried so hard with him.
The glove.
Uh yeah, I really, really want Jacob Fatu to win this too because the guy's just a phenomenal athlete. I have a feeling that LA Knight wasn't really originally supposed to be in this match, but they weren't sure about Shinsuke's contract status, so they put it back on LA Knight.
Me personally, I think it's gonna be a squash match. Fatu taking it.
Squashes LA Knight, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's gonna be a squash. He's gonna destroy him, and then separate from that, what I think is gonna happen, it's gonna be NWO. It's gonna go into different factions, like the Wolfpack, different things. That's how the new style of bloodline is gonna happen, where everybody's gonna have their own small faction. Because this is actually one thing that I was hearing on Wrestle Talk, and them talking about. I'm like, actually, it does make some sense.
So it's the Usos and Roman 1. Is Solo, Tama, and Tonga. And
And
then
then
Jacob with who?
fuse
No.
Zilla and Hikuleo.
Emma and Tonga are going to get Hikuleo. It's going to be God. So Gorillas of Destiny.
Yeah.
And Fatu, I think he's going to have his own thing led by him. I think Solo's going to somehow make his way back to the original bloodline and be like, I'm sorry, let me kiss the ring. Like, let me come back. Because that's the Usos' little brother. So somehow they're going to be like, you know what? You're a jackass, but we love you because you're blood. Come back. And it's going to be a 3-way split between the bloodline.
I could see it being a trios match between Solo and Tama and Tangaloa versus Zilla, Hikuleo, and Jacob Fatu. I mean, that'd be incredibly one-sided, but like,
We don't know that.
well, you could make it interesting.
Hikuleo might be a gigantic person with Jacob even next to Jacob Fatu, but I mean it's possible God wins.
I mean, we're talking about Tangaloa here, the former Hunico.
He could-
sorry, Camacho.
he could
was
do it.
Camacho.
Camacho was great. He could do it.
Oh, what? No. But no, I think Jacob Fatu wins unless they're going to pull the trigger early and have Solo betray him right then and there.
It's possible LA
Because
Knight retains on that, to be honest.
Because they have been kind of planting seeds for that for a while now, so it's very possible. But I'm hoping that Fatu gets the belt and then they feud over the title.
That would make sense. I just have a feeling it's probably. I have a feeling it could be here though, because they always have a wacky thing happen at WrestleMania for turns, and it could just LA Knight retaining here, but Jacob Fatu still wins later down the road. I'm not sure though. I want to say Jacob Fatu here though because it just makes more sense, but I can see them fucking it up because they always do one. They always make at least one random fuck up. We call it every year. At least one of them's gonna happen. Everybody gets one. That 1 year we all said Asuka's not. Yeti made a compelling argument that Asuka's not gonna possibly win at WrestleMania, and they're gonna pull on Bianca Belair. We all said no, Yeti, you're crazy. Then he turned us all except for poor Yuri, who loves his Japanese women, and we had to be like, we're sorry, Yuri. We're very sorry, Yuri. Asuka's never winning at WrestleMania ever. It's never gonna happen.
Oh,
she hasn't won yet since she's lost all 3 of them.
Yeah.
He should have beat Charlotte.
She should have. We agree, but we just know it was gonna happen. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we could all. So far we agree on the last 2. This one, I don't know if we're split or not, but is it Tiffy time or Charlotte Flair time? Either way, they suck chemistry-wise outside the ring.
To me, it's gotta be Charlotte's gotta put Tiffy over.
Yes! Yeah. It has to happen. Charlotte doesn't need to keep doing this. She's so not liked at all, and she's been terrible in this feud. She's been awful.
To me, she's extremely lackluster, doesn't even care for this feud, so she's not even trying.
Yeah.
I think the most excitement I got out of this feud was her being called 0-3.
Yeah, and her going, I'm the Nepo queen. It's like, you shouldn't, that's not a bragging right, Chief. All right? That's not, you shouldn't be proud of that statement.
Yeah, that was just bad. As soon as I heard the 0-3 and then all of a sudden Kaiser's in my DMs, I was like, what?
And then Kaiser immediately on Twitter was like, don't flatter yourself. With a Shawn Michaels meme, like, don't flatter yourself.
I don't know where that line even shot from, because they even admitted that was not part of the promo.
I think that was the first time I've seen in Charlotte's career where she looked legitimately shook. Like she didn't know what to say.
She's usually planned with it.
Yeah.
Because they stick to the script. Yeah, sometimes everybody goes off script a little bit, but they ad-lib it. This one she didn't know how to react because she's like, wait, what? And she just talked about she didn't want that to be public about her divorce. She's like, I want to keep it private until eventually it came out. So then Tiffany just ended up going with it, and she was shook. She didn't know what to do. Like, I don't want to talk about this. And you just threw it in my face in front of the live TV and this huge crowd. So she was shook. She didn't know what to respond. Kaiser in my DM.
Yeah, it was really bad, and they never really picked it up. They never really recovered for it. They have no mic chemistry whatsoever between these two, and that's the thing. I think we discussed it before, Dan, with Yeti and Zod. Charlotte Flair, her ability is not in her mic skills. It's never been that way. It's always she's the better wrestler of the four, but Becky was the better talker of the four.
Exactly.
And Charlotte proved that she can't do it. And Tiffany's still young. So this was not the right move for Charlotte Flair. This should have been Charlotte and Rhea.
Easily.
Part 3. Charlotte Flair ruined Rhea Ripley's NXT run in Rhea's mind. You could have gotten the redemption here and Rhea gone over against Charlotte. That was your bigger money match there. No offense to Tiffany, but like it just seems like Charlotte, like you said, Peanut, she's not taking her seriously at all. And I know it's wrestling, but just the body language tells me she doesn't give a fuck about this feud.
And it's irritating because when you're fresh, you're green, you're gonna make mistakes. I get it. But for the vets that have been there so long, what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to help the younger grow. When she was fresh, she didn't know much about wrestling. Yeah, she had her dad, she had her brother, and her other brother passed away, but she never really wrestled. She was green, and she had help on the way up. But she can't do that for the ones coming up? Like, come on. Make us want this match. Make us enjoy it. If you don't, this person's career is just going to plummet. And if you're just going to see her as, hey, I just blinked and she was gone. Treat it proper. Treat other people with the same respect you got going up. And these people are going to grow. This wrestling is going to thrive. And this person's career is going to keep going up and up. Do you want to just knock everybody down?
I feel like I'm hoping it's still early to tell in this era. I'm hoping Triple H learned from the John Cena era that you can't keep putting your eggs in the one basket. You can't keep doing it. You got to build new people eventually. Charlotte's already 12 years deep in her WWE career. She's already 12 years in.
12 years and 0-3?
Hey man, I'm just saying. That's the thing, right? These four horsewomen, everyone's already touting a new four horsewomen. Like it's gonna be Roxanne Perez, it's gonna be Julia, it's gonna be Stephanie Vaquer, it's gonna be Cora Jade. Eventually, Charlotte's gonna be passed by. Eventually, not Bianca yet or Rhea yet, but Bayley will eventually pass by. They're the aged veterans now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like I'm hoping Mercedes Moné eventually drops to like the next person in line. Could be like in AEW. I'm hoping it's gonna be a Hater. I'm hoping it's a Chris Statlander. The next person for them. It's the same here. Charlotte Flair has to lose here, but I have a sneaking fucking suspicion that they are intent on making her Ric Flair Jr. and just giving her 16 championships.
But they don't need to do that.
She's already passed Trish Stratus. She already passed Mickie James because they don't count Mickie James technically having more than Trish. But she's already passed them both anyway.
She's doubled Trish Stratus.
Yes! She doesn't need to do it anymore. She's already the Ric Flair of women's wrestling.
Yeah, easily.
So I have a sneaky suspicion of Charlotte. I don't want to pick her, but I have a feeling it's going to be Charlotte Flair. I'd rather Tiffany Stratton win because I rather new Barbie beat old Barbie and move on already. And Tiffany hasn't really been established as a legitimate champion yet. And I think this would be the legit win she needs. But I have a feeling they're going to fuck it up. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna do.
So, like, after this, though, that's the other thing, too. If Charlotte does win, where does she go from here? Who the fuck does she have to left to face at this point?
No one?
She's beaten everybody at this point. Who's left? That's why
There's no one left.
that's why it should be Tiffany. And if you're gonna, and then you have this thing, if it's Tiffany, you can call up a Roxanne Perez and instantly ignite that main event feud, because Roxanne Perez, despite her age, is way more above most people in ring wise.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Well, what about you, Peanut? Where do you think it could go after this, depending on who wins?
It's when it comes to Charlotte, they're always gonna put her with a certain talent that she's not gonna want to work with, or she's wanting to go over. I really like. I can go down a rabbit hole with Charlotte's whole career, especially her winning, because they are trying to do the Ric Flair thing where she matches the same amount of titles. So when eventually she does get inducted, oh, she was just like her dad, blah blah blah. That's what they're gonna try doing.
Yeah,
I don't want to see it this WrestleMania. If she wins it on a random pay-per-view, so be it. But I don't want to see it at Mania. What I want to see Tiffy Time take it, and it's gonna be on a random roll-up, and she's gonna be so shocked that she got pinned on a random roll-up that Tiffy was already getting her ass beat.
Ooh, that's good.
And gets it on a
Like that.
The most fucking random rollout, just gets her real quick, 3-second, runs out of the ring, because Charlotte's gonna be pissed.
And a roll up could work brilliantly. We just saw it at Dynasty, right, Dan? A brilliant roll up can make a big win happen. Like Toni Storm getting her ass kicked all match long, gets the surprise roll up of Megan Bayne, and she still finds a way to win. It was a perfect way. It was perfectly done.
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect.
So you could do it here. Charlotte Flair is akin to that level of star, just on a more of a superstar scale, and she is taller and stronger than most women on the roster.
Yes, she is.
So, like, perception-wise, Charlotte's a big deal in every regard. So you could do it there, 100%. And I don't know where the direction is for either of them afterwards, because the SmackDown division doesn't really have much left, with Nia Jax now just not at all being seen, which I'm sure Dan's okay with.
I'm not complaining.
You know, she is the new Divine Women's Champion, Dan. I hate to break it to you.
Oh, she's still holding the SmackDown Women's title too.
Yeah, of course. But now she's the
Oh
Divine
my
Women's
God.
Champion. She
It's a
beat
double
Julia.
champion. Oh, of course.
But yeah, that I don't know. That one's an I don't know for me. I'm gonna go with Charlotte Flair, but I'm really hoping I'm wrong. I really hoping I'm wrong. And then finally the main event of night one: Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. I didn't want this match originally, but at least I like the build of it, especially the Punk Roman drama.
I personally, this is the match I was talking about when I said at the beginning that I think that they had other plans that fell through. This is the match I was talking about, because I thought that this would have been finally the time for them to do Roman versus Rock.
Yeah,
and I thought maybe, oh yeah, we were gonna see like the whole thing on the Netflix premiere, but we didn't see it, and it was like, oh well, maybe that shoe will drop soon, and it never did. So now you're kind of have Roman just sort of sitting there, going, what do you do with them? So it's like, oh well, we'll just inject him into the feud with Punk and Rollins.
because I feel like it was supposed to be Punk versus Rollins straight up as a singles match. Probably like a certain stipulation for Mania, because That seemed like the entire time that's where they were going until recently. And I agree, Dan. I think it was supposed to be Roman Rock, and they can't not have Roman Reigns on the card because he's still technically on paper the most popular guy in the company. So
Easily.
they can't not have him when he's available. So we're gonna find a way to put him in, and I think Paul Heyman and Punk, especially, have really managed to make it work. What do you think, Peanut?
My main thing, honestly, I'm wanting to see what happens with Paul Heyman. The reason, because you have the whole dynamic between, hey, you're my wise man. Then you got Punk. If you go back in history, he told him, "I'm gonna be there no matter what it is, by your side at your first main event." This was many years ago.
Yep.
But then, like, people do forget about that stuff. But if for those who remember, that's what he had told him. And then you have the dynamic that Seth is telling him that now you owe me a favor. What does he mean by that?
Mm-hmm. Well,
What
yeah,
favor is he trying to do?
my only wish here
And-
too is that, man, it sucks that John Moxley's not available, because this crossover thing right here, Peanut, would have been perfect. A Shield triple threat at WrestleMania.
That would have been the biggest match on the whole card.
Yeah. They're literally all three super popular. Like, I know Moxley right now in AEW is not the almost over guy, but apparently on HBO Max, he's the most viewed segment every week. So but like, I don't know. Seth just seems like the odd man out in this one, but he seems like he's fit in, like he's relishing that he was right about Punk this whole time. Like, Seth, again, doing that justified heel thing. Like, I told you not to let Punk do this. And I do think this is still going to lead to a Punk Rollins singles match. They might be kicking that can down the road to SummerSlam now. Who knows? Because one of them might be world champion by then. Again, who knows?
I personally, if I have to make a prediction of who's going to win, I think, personally, I'm thinking my hot take is Rollins.
Ooh.
I feel like, because obviously there's this whole thing between Punk and Roman and Paul Heyman, and as you said, Rollins is kind of the odd man out. And I'm like, you know what? Here's a hot take, and I've heard other people echo this statement, that maybe Paul Heyman turns on both of them and aligns with Seth?
I don't know if he will do that. I do see Paul Heyman saying fuck it and just walking out, though. I do see that. I do see Heyman being conflicted and just walking on both of them. I think that'll add way more drama to that match if he does that. And Punk and Roman are just both confused, and then you get Rollins taking advantage of both of them in that regard, because they're both stunned. But I don't know. What do you think, Peanut?
I don't know where to go, honestly, with this three-way match, because I feel they're gonna want to just give it a Punk just because he's come back. Suppose he's this role model superstar now, and Rollins has already taken a win at Mania. Reigns has gotten plenty of wins at Mania. I feel they're just gonna be like, you get this one. So they give it a Punk, and they're gonna make it seem like this is the greatest thing in the world. And Heyman, even though he says there's nothing going on between them, he's just doing a favor, he will end up leaving that day with Punk.
That's possible too. I think Heyman gets fed up with the whole bloodline shit and be like, you know what, Punk was always standing up for what he believed in, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we're not gonna talk about the 4 years he did somewhere else, but no, yeah, I feel that could be possible too. I do think Punk wins here as well. I think Punk will take advantage of things. I think it's either Punk or Rollins. I think Reigns is going to be too conflicted mentally for it. I think his cockiness is going to get the best of him again. People forget, Roman never fucking apologized for anything he's done. He's still Roman Reigns. He's still just the same dude, but you're just cheering him now. He never apologized. He never forgave anyone. He never forgot about it. He's still just Roman Reigns. He's still dastardly. Still a prick. And you can tell in his promos he's the exact same way. Like that signing, like, go ahead, Paul, tell him. Thanks to your tribal chief, I gave you the main event. He's still the exact same guy. He didn't change. We just decided to cheer him one day.
Pretty much ever since he came back from losing the title.
Yeah. So, like, Rollins is definitely the guy that's the most justified in this match. Like, Roman, you're not listening, and Punk, you don't deserve to be here. I worked my ass off. I carried this entire time you were gone. I did this. I did that. They're obviously not going to mention the whole Shield thing because it's WWE canon that Triple H came up with it, even though it was Punk that came up with it, but whatever. And I think it could be Punk or Rollins, but I'm going to go with Punk here too. But I won't be surprised if it's Rollins. I honestly don't think it's Reigns winning at all, but I don't think he takes the pin either. I don't think Rollins takes the pin here, or Reigns takes the pin here. It's either Rollins or Punk taking the pin here.
And you see Heyman interfering to cause the win.
I could see it. I could definitely see Heyman making a choice of some sort here too, if he doesn't walk out. And that choice has the consequences, because every choice has a consequence, especially with the bloodline. Your actions have consequences, as he always says to Heyman, right? So if he picks
that, and you do remember triple threat, anything can go. So he might even slide him something.
Right? He could. He absolutely could do that. You could also have interference of some sort. I don't know who or what. Who knows, though? Paul Heyman always has a plan, though.
Solo.
And that's it for night one, which I think overall, honestly, is the least exciting of the two cards to me, because night two, to me, there's only like a couple matches where I'm like, I don't need to see this. Maybe only like one, really. The rest of them, like, I know there'll be at least good matches. But the projected starting match for this one is also the World Championship, but the women's, with Io Sky defending against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. In what will be at least a fun match, because all three are good.
Who will have the celebrity pop or the random person in the crowd? Who would have that spot?
The random person in the crowd.
Like, which wrestler that's not currently in the WWE or maybe is signed, but we haven't seen him yet? Who is that person that will be in the crowd? Because you know it always happens.
Oh, man. It's probably going to be like an NXT person, honestly. Or it could be a TNA guy. Oh my god, Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's is there.
That would be absolutely awesome.
There's a Vegas WrestleCon like the same weekend.
Well, there you go.
So I Joe Hendry. he's not technically signed by WWE. He's just gonna show up with the TNA Championship, because they're allowed to now.
Champion.
I could also see it being the Hardy Boys, because even though they're with TNA, the WWE really wants them back over.
They really want to buy TNA. But they don't have to right now because they're saving money with the partnership, because all they have to do is, we're not giving you our big guys, we're giving you our runner-ups, and you give us anybody we asked for.
I think if they weren't already planning on doing Evolve, they probably would just cancel Evolve and make TNA their Evolve. Like, to be honest. Because then they would save their money by doing that, like you said, Peanut, because they would just have TNA operate individually away from them and be like, well, we don't have to do any of the costs. We'll just send them guys that we're not using. Like, literally, because all they're doing is sending them random people that they're not using. They weren't using Fallon Henley, so they'll send her there. They weren't using Tatum Paxley. All right, here, take her for a bit. Like, at least they're getting TV time. Cora Jade was a main event match on that show. So, yeah, I could see that being a thing. But for this match in particular, I think Io Sky may have her friends come back that night. Kyrie and Asuka might be come back that night. Kyrie's been training. Asuka's been getting clean with her knee. I think it's possible that they come back together tonight, or on the Sunday.
Saturday.
They're gonna be Sunday. It's night 2.
Okay.
That being said, I always had a thought that even though Triple H likes Io Sky, I think she's in there to take the pin.
Yeah, as unfortunate as that sounds, because, like, she's been portrayed as pretty much an afterthought throughout this entire build. And it's like, I could see Io retaining just because maybe Rhea and Bianca's egos will get in the way.
Possible.
But I just don't know with this one what direction they're going to go with.
I thought Rhea Ripley, but then again, they've already had her beat everybody on that particular roster, except for Io, really. That's why I'm thinking it could be Bianca, because they might have Bianca versus Jade Cargill as a feud.
I mean, it's very possible.
Because I'm leaning towards Bianca Belair. I would have picked Rhea Ripley a month ago, but I'm thinking it might be more Bianca. Rhea's starting to get her mental state starting to get the best of her again, and that usually doesn't bode well for her in title matches.
I see a swerve happening.
What do you think, Peanut? What do you think's gonna happen?
I'm going Io.
Gonna go Io. Okay. So why do you feel like it's gonna be Io?
So Io, great wrestler. A lot of people, I feel, do want to see her over. I know she's not well known compared to everybody else. Yeah, she's been around, but the other ones are the ones with more star power.
Mm-hmm.
But wanting to build, I think Triple H wants to build more people, especially with Io. That feud that was already building prior to making this triple threat. Rhea just forced her way back into the triple threat. I think it's still gonna go Io. Like, they want to build new stars, and she's been with Japan, she's done all this stuff, but the way she's being built, I feel it's gonna be kind of like an underdog story. Come back, take it, and then I don't see her as a heel anymore. I feel she's gonna come out just as a babyface, and she's gonna be having a babyface run.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I would love to see Kyrie finally getting the world title too. Have all three of them with a championship at some point. Because Kyrie is also very good and doesn't get her credit.
Plus, how they're talking to New Japan and trying to build this relationship, trying to have them walk away. I think they're gonna give it to a Japanese star.
That's very true. I didn't think of that. Io Sky is one of the best Japanese wrestlers to come out of Japan. By far.
Yeah, because they're always trying to market. So why not try marketing? Like, if you think about, what was his name? The one that we're trying to build for the Indian market, but he was actually Canadian.
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal. They're always trying to expand. And Nick Khan wants to expand a lot. So why not trying to do it with the Japanese star? Especially because there's been talks that they're trying to talk to New Japan recently. So why not?
They're already working with Noah, which is kind of like a lesser system there, by sending Omos there.
that one that was created recently, Marigold.
Yes, because Stardom is affiliated with AEW, so they're like, okay, we'll do Marigold.
Mm-hmm. So I can see it happening just for expansion wise, and then just go with the babyface run to show, hey, we love the Japanese people, so this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we can do for any of you stars that want to come this way and build that market.
And they
And
are
let's
trying
get
to,
in the ID program.
and they are trying to do. Apparently, there's going to be a major pay per view or a major PLE in 2027 in India too. Because they really do want to get the. Apparently, Netflix's whole thing is that they're trying to get the Indian market entirely, and Netflix is going to try to fund it. UFC is already making possibilities of going there. UFC leaving ESPN, by the way, for next year. They're going to join. They're going to join WWE on Netflix. So that's going to be huge for the MMA world that UFC no longer does pay-per-views.
PLEs.
Yeah, it's gonna be a PLE because now it's gonna be like we're on Netflix now. You have to have a Netflix subscription to watch UFC now, which will be a big deal. So yeah, if they're doing the Japanese market thing, EO does make sense there, as well. So I could definitely see it. And again, they're trying to expand the Mexican market too, which is why they're bringing the Lucha Bros because they're the two more current popular stars there. Other than Ray, obviously, but Ray is just a legend, so like it doesn't matter where he goes, to be honest.
Speaking about the Hispanic market, what do you think about Stephanie McCurry? Do you think she's gonna hold that title and somehow lose it? Or
Oh
she's gonna
God!
hold it and she's gonna pop out in the main roster?
I wanted to believe in Shawn Michaels' booking ability, but man, did he ever make that? Did he ever make that convoluted? So Julia's injured, but 3 weeks later she's totally fine. So our whole title versus title match meant fucking nothing. We could have just done it at Stand Deliver. We could have just done it then.
And then they had the vacant title where they're just gonna put it on anybody random. Like, come on.
You could have just had the title for title at the fucking Stand Deliver show.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need to do a ladder match. Oh,
That's why
God.
if Kerr loses, is she popping on the main roster?
I think
they're just focusing on expansion right now. So Hispanic market and Japanese market.
Yeah,
tells like that.
I think whoever loses is probably moving up. It'll probably be Julia. I think Triple H is pushing for Julia. Because
So say Julia versus Io.
Julia versus Io would be massive for that market. 100%. It'd be the biggest Japanese match in North American history. Like not even a joke. Not even a joke. Since Kenny and Okada. Like,
so now that you're thinking that, do you still hold to your prediction?
It depends. I'm gonna.
If you're thinking market expansion.
I'm thinking it's still potentially Bianca, yeah, because I feel like they could still do EO depending on when they do it. It's all timing, right? It really depends on when they do it. All I know is that I just don't feel like Rhea fits in this mold anymore. I think Rhea has to move on from the title for a bit.
I think so too. I think she needs to venture off, do some other stuff, let some other people grow for now, and come back when they grow.
But Bianca's also been. She hasn't lost a singles match at WrestleMania, or I think the only match she's lost at WrestleMania was actually a Battle Royal. So, and that was her first one. So, yeah, I mean, I think you could convince me on EO for sure there, Peanut. I think you could. What do you think?
Good.
What do you think, Dan? I don't hear him.
Are you still there? His mic's moving.
I don't know what happened to him.
I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
okay. Are you okay?
Sorry, yeah, sorry. I've been awake since 5 o'clock this morning, so I'm pretty freaking tired
D-
because I worked at 6:30 in the morning this week.
Oh, did you fall asleep?
No, I'm trying my best not to right
Oh,
now.
okay. Okay. I'm sorry, Dan.
It's okay. I should have napped when I got home and I couldn't.
But what do you think? Could you be convinced Io Sky is the way?
I think Io Sky is the way just because I just think that she's gonna win this personally because of the egos of her two opponents.
Yeah.
And I think the two of them, I think Bianca and Rhea just kind of cost themselves the match, not each other. I think they just sort of, yeah, as I said, I think they just cost themselves the match, and Io takes advantage.
That's true. Next one. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. To be honest, I have a feeling AJ Styles loses.
Yeah, I feel like AJ Styles does the old school thing,
Because
kind of like he's on his way out, pretty much.
he said several times that this might be his last year, and he's not sure. That ankle injury really kind of like, you know what? I might be done here.
And he's practically. I think he's gonna if he's on his way out, he's gonna do the old school thing and put another guy over.
AJ is a beat up 47 years old.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Like, he's no longer the X Division AJ from 20 years ago. He just can't do it anymore, really. That being said, he's a good hand for a Logan Paul who could do those moves. So, as much as I hate Logan Paul, oh god, what is your screen doing? What in the world? Peanut, what are you doing? No! We didn't say, I said his name like an hour ago. It's more awkward when the song is not playing. It's way more awkward. It's distracting too. I thought it was Dan. I'm like, Dan, what the fuck are you doing? Because Dan's got a Joe Hendry picture.
Wasn't me.
What? So as much as I don't like Logan Paul, I think if you're gonna build him as this heel that everyone hates, Paul needs to win a big match at a big stage. He hasn't really done too many of those. I think this is the one where you could do it on. And this one kind of tells me, like, yeah, AJ's probably the one losing here.
Yeah, I totally think he's going to. Just because I think he's gonna make Paul look like $1,000,000
Oh, yeah.
and then lose to him.
What do you think, Peanut?
The sponsorships are too big and stuff. I don't see them. I really don't see them given to AJ. Yeah, AJ's the actual wrestler.
Yeah.
But everything that they have invested in this kid, like such a big star with social media, all this stuff, they're gonna do it as heelish, and then AJ, I feel he's just gonna try walking away because they were telling him like, look, you got to do it for us, you got to do this, because if you saw the video that they posted after the exclusive video supposedly from I can't think of his name right now. The one with Scarlett Bordeaux.
Oh, Karrion Kross, yes.
Karrion Kross. So he did the video of, you have to do this for us. You can't have this YouTube star take over our business. He's gonna kill it. So just that emotion that he was laying down on that video, I know it's gonna go to Logan. They do that just to build like he's ruining our sport. He's doing this.
Yeah.
You always want that heel because you know people are going to go for it. Like they're gonna be like, yeah, get rid of this guy, because you're getting heat. Any type of crowd reaction that you get, as a wrestler is always positive, no matter if it's good or bad. As long as you're getting some type of either heat or praise, you're doing your job. As a heel, you want the heat. You want them to be booing. You want them to do that because you know you're getting that crowd reaction. And Logan Paul gets that crowd reaction because nobody
Paul
wants
is
him to be a
and,
wrestler.
and ever since Paul embraced it, he's been so good at it. And it bothers me that he's good at it, but he just is.
I just see him as obnoxious, and that's where you have to be at that level. So he knows how to work the crowd
Mm.
because he's already hated as it is. So him and his brother know how to work a crowd, and that's what brings in money.
Oh yeah.
Just because you can build that hate that people want to see you get your ass kicked, but you know it's not going to happen. Because if you do, what they're not going to want to see it again because it's going to get boring after a while. But if you keep winning and pissing people off even more and more until you finally get that one ass kicking, then that's what the crowd wants. So that's how you bring them in and keep them there. So it's going to go Logan.
I like how I do find it funny how you remembered his wife and not him. It's like I
That is
remember
pretty
the
funny.
I remember the smoke show Scarlett Bordeaux, but I don't remember him.
Yeah, no, because
I
he's
couldn't
the
remember his
afterthought
name.
of the pair.
I just remember a bald guy, and then now all of a sudden he has a bunch of like flowing hair.
Yeah, you know what he's reminding me of, Dan? He's reminding me of the Devil's Advocate gimmick with Sean O'Hare.
He kind of is a little bit.
He's kind of playing that same similar angle, but he's a better in-ring wrestler about it. Which is
I would. Yeah,
and hopefully he doesn't have a Roddy Piper. He has Scarlett Bordeaux, which is I would say is a promotion. So
I would think so.
as much as I like Roddy Piper, I think he's more imposing with a Scarlett Bordeaux behind him than a yelling old man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Up next, 4-way Intercontinental Championship. This will be a fun match. Braun Breaker, Pentagon, Finn Balor, Dirty Dom Mysterio. I kind of have a thought that I think I know where this is going to go, but we'll start with you on this one, Dan.
Now you and I talked about this a good bit on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I think this is going to go one of two ways. It just depends on how early they want to pull the trigger on this. First off, I think Braun's going to lose the title.
Yep.
Because I think they're going to put. I think Braun's ready to be pushed into main event level status.
100%.
I think he's ready for it. The point I wanted to make earlier, but I said I would wait till the match in question. I think if Jey Uso beats Gunther, then you get Braun versus Jay at SummerSlam,
Ooh.
or maybe a little bit before, and then you get Braun feud with Gunther as his first feud as champion. But that being said, so obviously I went through process of elimination for this one. So I said Braun loses the title. I said I'm thinking Penta's not quite in WWE anyway. Penta isn't quite there yet. I think Penta's going to win that title at some point.
Yeah, I think he's
but
going
just
tag
not
with his
quite-
brother. I think he's going to tag with his brother.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be Penta. So that leaves Balor and Dom. I kind of am wondering when they're going to pull the trigger on an impending Judgment Day split, where Finn kind of turns face and Dom takes over as leader of the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're either going to do it as Finn wins the title and then like they do this whole thing slightly later on, or Finn looks like he's going to win, Dominic costs him the match, Dominic wins the title, and then they feud over the title.
Yeah, I think it's Dom, and then that feeds Finn Balor's jealousy, because what I've seen on Raw is that Dominic's trying to do the right thing. Dominic's actually playing more of the nicer guy of the two. So I think it's actually kind of flipped right now. But it's Liv Morgan being like, "Hey, Dom, don't give him credit. You guys both won that match together. Finn didn't just win by himself." I think Liv Morgan is the one using Dominic as the leader, but it's actually Liv Morgan as the leader, and she's pushing Finn Balor out. And I think she probably won't be in this match because she'll be busy with the tag team match. But I think Dom will take advantage of Finn Balor doing a coup de grace on Penta, and then Dominic pins him after throwing Finn Balor out. You protect Braun Breaker, and you feed Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're gonna go for.
But what do you think, Peanut?
Honestly, I'm gonna go beat off what you said because this is same. So this one, I got convinced by Wrestle Talk. The same exact idea that you're giving is that somehow Dom is gonna go over.
Mm-hmm.
People love to hate Dom.
Yep.
So his heat is so strong. They're going to give him the title, and Finn is gonna get really jealous and turn on him. And that's where it's going to go into a whole thing where, yes, the breakup's happening, but Finn will be turning on Dom after that loss because he's going to be so jealous. Like, what the heck? I was the leader after you guys let me in, Damien and Ripley. And all of a sudden, I wanted that leadership. You guys basically never fully gave it to me because we're equal, but no, I'm the leader. He's gonna get pissed off and he's just gonna break away to do his own thing.
Do you think
he's gonna come with a darker side?
Do you think it's gonna happen that night? Like Finn just pushes Dom after Dom wins and like just starts it.
It's very possible that they could do that.
I think they're gonna have too many swerves.
I think it's better if they kind of build up to that a little more.
Like plant the seeds of the Raw afterwards, like the next night, plant the seeds a bit.
Yes.
Because the other thing is too, Carlito's kind of like the one caught in the middle. Because like I said, Liv is kind of pulling the strings. Finn is starting to go crazy, and Carlito's just kind of there. I mean,
Carlito is having that thing with Braun Breaker right now.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god, Braun Breaker Carlito feud would be so funny. Braun just kicks his ass for like three matches.
That'd be pretty funny.
I also think Carlito's like trying to hit up Raquel, which is also really funny. He keeps staring at her. I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to do? You're 20 years older than her. I know she's big, but like, come on now. Relax. But yeah, no, I think it's Dominic Mysterio winning this. I think it's time for him to win one. The thing is, too, people also don't realize this, that are not outside WWE fans. Finn Balor was a megastar before he came to this company. Pentagon Jr. was a star in every company but this one. And Braun Breaker, he has the higher ceiling. He doesn't need this belt anymore. Dominic Mysterio deserves this. The work he's put in to stand out from his father has been impeccable work, and he deserves this.
For the past 2.5 years, too.
Yeah. He's completely departed from being a Mysterio. He's his own man. And it takes real talent to do that. Dominic was bred for this business, much like a lot of people in his family are, and I think he deserves this.
Yeah, this has to be Dominic's time.
Up next is Dirty Dom's beloved girlfriend, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I knew they were going to defend this belt at WrestleMania. I'm finally glad they're fucking doing it. But not against the team that I would have expected. We're going to have random team gauntlet and not have any of the actual teams win. We're going to have Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for no reason, instead of Lyra simply defending her fucking belt.
Against Bayley, which would have been better.
Yes! It doesn't have to be a heel and face. It could just be a student-teacher thing.
Instead, they're like, let's just waste it on Raw.
and have this pointless.
Yeah.
Let's not have any of our established women's tag teams win. Let's have Bayley and Lyra win against in this gauntlet match to face the tag team. Typical WWE tag team booking 101.
Yeah, of course.
Typical. Absolutely typical. That being said, Liv and Raquel retain.
Liv and Raquel retain, of course, because this is going to lead to a bigger feud between Bayley and Lyra.
Yeah. I think Bayley honestly might win the IC title because then she is the solidified Grand Slam champion of all women's wrestling.
And Lyra can also feud for one of the bigger titles.
Yeah.
I'd say move her to SmackDown, have her feud with Tiffy.
Lyra and Tiffy have that history from NXT. They could build on that.
That'd be huge. I think that'd be a great feud.
Plus, I think it makes more sense if you're doing the breakup and Dominic's champion. I think it makes more sense that Finn Balor is the one left out without a championship.
Yeah, leave. Keep the titles on Liv and
Carlitos.
Raquel.
Carlito's just there, Peanut. You know that.
And JD's been out for a couple months now.
That being said, I think JD and Finn are going to be a team against Dominic and Carlito.
Probably.
That's what I think is going to happen. But yeah, no, I think it's Liv and Raquel. Peanut, do you agree, or do you have another idea in your mind?
I'm going to Liv and Raquel. Honestly, I think Bayley. Everybody turns on Bayley. I wouldn't be surprised if Lyra, after they lose, because Bayley took the pin, Lyra just turns on Bayley, and all of a sudden now they have a feud.
Bayley's been betrayed by every partner. It's true.
Betrays Bayley.
She's
That
the
is her
Sting
gimmick.
she's the Sting of women's wrestling.
That is
No,
her
I
gimmick,
think
is being betrayed.
I think Bayley does the betrayal personally.
That's possible.
Yeah.
She goes back with
I think-
Dakota.
She's like, not this time.
She goes back with Dakota
Same.
Kai, and Lyra has to get a new partner. And then
She's like, "Fuck you! I'm back with Damage Control."
Oh, you
even
know-
though they fucked me over last year.
you know what could happen here? Lyra was trained by not only Finn Balor, but Becky Lynch.
I don't think Becky's coming back just yet.
She might after the show, though. She might be back on the Raw afterwards.
It's very possible.
Because they're going to be still in Vegas. It's not like she's not there. Her husband's there. Like they travel together still, even though she's... And one of the reasons why she was off television to begin with is because she wasn't signing a contract. And we don't know if she signed one or not. There's no word on that. But it's obvious that she's going to return if she's going to return. It won't be it won't be for anyone but WWE. So
No.
I have a feeling she's coming back at the Raw after Mania because there's just no plans for her now anyway. And
I thought
if
she was bringing it all in.
she's not appearing at all in, as much as I think Becky would be huge there, I think honestly AEW's women's division is actually heating up right now, and they don't really need her. They don't really need her.
Agreed.
They're getting plus they have a lot of young talent that just they don't need her. Once Mercedes loses the belt, they can move on. Like they don't need her there anymore either, to be honest. So, but yeah, no, I think yeah, Bayley could be the betrayer, but I still think it's funny the idea that she's the Sting of women's wrestling. Sting's only two partners that never betrayed him: RoboCop and Darby. Those are the only two partners Sting has had that never betrayed him.
RoboCop.
RoboCop and Darby Allin. Dan's like, Jesus. It's true though.
Oh, it is.
Coming up next, the Sin City Street Fight. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. We've done this feud. Why are we doing it again? There has to be another reason for this. There must have been. I don't know. I think the Rock thing did affect this one too, to be honest.
I said to you before, and I've said it multiple times to you, but I said that Drew deserves a much bigger match at this WrestleMania, then I'm sorry, a relatively forgettable feud with Damian Priest.
That we already did in Scotland. They already did this feud this year and last year.
Yes, yes. Like I said, Drew should be facing Roman because he has all these problems
Yep.
supposedly with Roman Reigns,
Yep.
and Roman Reigns has not, to use one of his terms, acknowledged it at all.
No.
Because like McIntyre talked a whole lot of shit about Roman Reigns, and Roman has said or done absolutely nothing about it.
This is just a shoehorn Damian Priest on this card because Triple H likes the guy and he's still kind of over. But if you want another plan for Roman that wasn't The Rock, Drew was the guy. Drew was this feud for Roman.
Yes, and then you could have kept Punk and Rollins together.
No, like again, like Priest didn't have to be on this Mania card. He didn't have to be.
No.
I had nothing against the guy. It's just that he didn't fit in anywhere. They just kind of shoehorned him in.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, and needless. That being said, McIntyre, in my opinion, has to win.
I agree. I think McIntyre has to win here. Peanut.
I'm thinking.
He's like, shit, I thought I had more time. Because I'm not sure what they're going to do with Priest otherwise. Like,
yeah, with Priest, you can only go so far. Like, there's certain stories that he'll come out good in, but I think his redemption arc already ended. So, I feel you need to get Drew hot again because he's been. I don't know. I wasn't the hugest fan with the CM Punk stuff at first. Then it got pretty hot. And I'm like, all right, it's getting a lot better. Stop fighting over a bracelet. But
that
like,
final match
come
is
on.
one of the best matches of the year, at least. So
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It eventually got hot, but it was he hated him. Like honestly, I hate him. I don't know if he still does, but there's certain stuff that I saw the McIntyre thing, and I wanted to just be like, all right, cool. This is what I want to see. I want to see CM Punk get his ass whooped because I really am not a huge fan of this guy off of so much stuff he's done. Like, I get it. You build heat, but when you got a lot of backstage politics that you're the one causing, but yet you're the hypocrite on it, that's what would piss me off.
I know that's
So
my thing with Punk too, honestly.
Yeah, I was happy with McIntyre whooping his ass.
Me too.
So
I was okay with it. I was okay with it.
That, like, I think I want to see Damian Priest get hot again because he's cooled down. But I'm still gonna go with McIntyre.
Yeah, I think it has to be Drew.
It's gonna be a good enough match to where both of them are still gonna look good at the end.
Probably. And before we get to the main event, do you guys think Randy Orton is wrestling on this show?
Yes.
Who is his opponent?
It's either
Mickey
Kevin
James.
Owens. It's that'd be funny.
Who did you say?
I think he said Mickey.
James.
Mickey James. I thought he said Joe Hendry. I'm like, God damn it.
No.
Peanut.
He
Yeah.
mentioned there. That's why.
But I think it's either KO or still, like it was supposed to be, or it's Nick Aldis.
I'm thinking Nick Aldis. I think this is the way to get Nick Aldis to finally wrestle because the guy is not old. Like the fact
He's not
that
even 40.
the fact that he was a GM, I like him as GM, but you signed Nick Aldis, who was one of the best British wrestlers when you signed him, and just didn't put him in a match, which made no sense to me. And I think now is the time to put him out there. He's still in great physical shape. Do it. Put him out there. It's WrestleMania. This is the time to debut a Nick Aldis match.
Very good time to do it.
He's also good friends with Cody Rhodes. So if Nick Aldis comes back to the ring, there's a built-in feud right there with Cody Rhodes. They have the heat for the NWA title. They have the heat for the TNA title. All around the world, they competed against each other. They could do it on a WWE stage.
Easily.
I've always been like, Nick Aldis has to wrestle. So I'm gonna pull for Nick Aldis. But I also can see someone else from Randy Orton's past, but I'm just not sure who else it could possibly be at that point. KO think could be a swerve. I'm not sure else what they could do there, to be honest. Because like most of Randy Orton's greatest feuds are either not in the company anymore or retired. So
Yeah.
unless Orton just doesn't compete on the show, he's gonna be competing in St. Louis anyway, because Backlash has got his picture on it.
See,
And you're
I
returning Ted DiBiase Jr.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, they're the secret main event. Fuck Cody Cena. It's actually Orton, Ted DiBiase Jr. Such a Vince McMahon booking, by the way.
I feel it's gonna be I feel Pierce is gonna come out and somehow convince all this, like, you got to do this, and then somehow eventually Adam Pierce is gonna wrestle too, because they've been talking about it to where Nick Aldis having at least one more match. Pierce maybe having one more match.
Yeah, Pierce is only in his like mid-40s, and he's not super old. Like,
yeah, and Pierce, like they've been having that back and forth between him and Nick Aldis all the time, because we're different GMs, so they have that chemistry. Like, oh yeah, me against you, let's go Survivor Series.
You know what? I could see that also could be another SummerSlam idea too. Aldis versus Pierce.
Yeah.
And be like you put it right in the mid card. It wouldn't be a bad thing. They've had heat with each other on camera as GMs competing against each other. You can drive a wedge further during like a draft segment, kind of like how like Bischoff used to do with whoever was facing him.
Yeah, if you're doing a draft, then they can do kind of like a pull apart, like you mother.
Like say it's like a hot prospect. Say it's like an Obafemi, and they both want him, but Pierce sneaks in and steals him from Aldis because he offers him a bigger deal. Like it could be something like that. Like it could be something like that.
They're gonna fight for Chelsea.
Oh Jesus! Matt Cordona's like, hell no. It's Matt Cardona coming out to face Randy. That's for my wife.
Oh, you know what? That can happen.
It actually probably could be Matt Cardona. He's not signed to anyone.
He's not, and plus he has that history.
Matt Cardona actually wouldn't be a bad shout either.
Would they call him Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder?
He said he will not come back as Zack Ryder. If he comes back, it's Matt Cardona.
Zack Ryder's dead.
He says Zack Ryder's dead. He killed him. He took him out back and shot him.
Good.
He says if he comes back to WWE, it's as Matt Cardona. His wife's been pushing for it for years for him to come back. In fact, I could see him joining the Hervis. Because it'd be really funny.
That would be hilarious.
I think he would do it, though. I think he would love to do it.
Have him win the U.S. title so they're both U.S. champions.
Oh my god. Yeah, there you go. See? We have ideas already brewing right here. Matt Cardona, Randy Orton, let's go.
It's not going to happen.
It's
but
not.
It's funny.
It's going to be Nick Aldis, but it'd be really funny if it was Matt Cardona. In our main event, our final match for the night, will John Cena get number 17, or will Cody Rhodes retain the championship after a full year as champion? Dan, what do you think?
So, talking to Yeti and Zod last week, Yeti and I kind of came up with an idea for how this match could end.
Okay.
So they have a pretty good fight. They're both absolutely exhausted. Somehow the referee gets knocked out. Out comes and this is a hot take, of course, but out comes The Rock.
Oh no!
The Rock goes, you know what? I'm the final boss. I'm going to referee the rest of this match. Cena locks in STF. The Rock screws him and rings the bell immediately.
No! You send the crowd home pissed that way. Oh no!
See, I think Cena's going to win it, and any way Cena wins is going to send the crowd home pissed.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
But
absolutely true.
I think they're gonna do it for Cena.
Because they did it before with Cody. They sent the crowd home pissed. A rubber chicken was thrown at him, and then they had to do it again the next year.
Yeah.
Oh, I really don't want Cena to win at WrestleMania. He doesn't fucking need it. He doesn't need it.
No, but I think it's gonna happen because they want to give him 17.
They don't have to do it here. Please don't do it here. Please don't do it here. Do it in a random house show in Boston. I don't give a fuck. Don't do it here.
A random house show.
In Boston. I don't care. Do it there. I don't give a fuck.
God.
I just don't want it. I don't. The thing is, too, I'm probably about to pick him, but I don't wanna. I don't want to do it. I really don't.
But I think it's gonna happen.
Peanut, what do you think?
This one, it really has me broke. Like, honestly, I can see the thing that they want to do for Cena. They want to make sure that he goes out on top and has a good last run. But with everything with Cody, it's not going, like, I don't see it going higher and higher how it should have been. When he first got the title, like, he wasn't doing anything with it. It got boring instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's been picking up some heat and more stuff right now, but is it inflated because of him, or is it inflated because this weird feud with The Rock going on, off, on, off?
I think it's both, because Cody's talented. He just hasn't had the right dance partners.
Yeah, I feel there's more stuff that can happen, but they're not going to keep giving him, because he's already won 2 Rumbles in a row. He's won Mania. I don't see him just keeping him up there, because people are going to eventually get bored of him.
Yeah, that's why I thought. I honestly, as much as Cena's heel turn has been really good for Cena, I honestly thought Cody turning heel would have been the better move.
Yeah. With that said,
No, Peanut, no. See, the thing is, like, because nobody believed. I know the swerve was great and it was good. It was a good moment. But Cena being the conquering hero against Cody Rhodes would have been more apropos of his championship reigns. You know? And I think...
I feel they're going to do this. It's going to come out Cena. And then they're going to eventually drop him, but it's going to come out Cena. That's why you can't get over this strange-looking upset face. Look at it. He ages the more it zooms in. That's where I feel it's going to go.
Do you think it's going to be John Cena versus The Rock thrice of a lifetime?
Thrice of a lifetime. He's going to do what was done in WCW, which, if you know what I'm talking about, with Hogan, how he got the title. And then you got a promo cut on him after they left the ring, which I just saw this episode of Dark Side of the Ring about a week ago or two. What occurred for him to win that title, and then for the title to switch hands later on that day for the supposed real title, he will lay down for The Rock.
So after this, if John Cena wins...
This is after. Yes.
Okay, so after John Cena wins, Dan, where do you think it goes from here if John Cena is champion?
I think his first feud is Randy Orton.
Yeah, he can't retire and not have Randy Orton feud. He can't.
Plus, Backlash is in St. Louis. Orton's on the cover.
he probably beats
Yeah,
Orton there.
a punk match too.
Oh,
A Punk match would be excellent.
does Punk win it at SummerSlam?
Instead of it being at Chicago, it's gonna be in Boston, and he's gonna walk out blowing a kiss.
Oh shit! I think that was a Wrestle Talk thing actually.
Was it? I just came to mind. I didn't pay attention.
It's because Ollie Davis is the biggest TNA fan ever, but and Luke Owen, but no, like I think it's possible there because then you put the belt, you could put the belt on Punk there and then have him and Rollins go for it.
If you're gonna choose to keep the feud going for that long.
I mean, they kept Roman going for 4 years, Dan.
I mean, true.
And eventually it paid off. It took a long time to get there, but Triple H does burn them a long time like that. Like the bigger matches, like Cody's held the belt for a year. You know, like
Yeah.
he does long burn his main titles for the most part, especially the men's.
And let's say if Punk wins, Cena will come back with the real title.
No, not the spinner. Not the
No,
spinner.
not that one. I'm talking about the. You know how he put the X on the title before?
No,
that story
not
got
the
dropped.
stupid AEW shit again. No.
Yes. They've been referencing them
I
here and there,
know.
like little tidbits.
Cena's gonna come out with a spray painted version. Be like, Pug, does this look familiar?
God.
This is
They
like
do little
familiar,
tidbits
Pug.
here and there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back with some kind of thing referencing. It's not gonna be a full-time thing, but he's gonna reference it.
Probably.
Like, do I look like the real champion?
Stop! Can you get his face off the goddamn screen?
Okay, I'll take the face off.
Uh.
I forgot it was there. I was just saying it to, like,
God damn it! Not Joe Hendry again. So God damn it! I have to pick Cena, don't I? Oh! I don't want to. It's a good thing Yeti's not here because he has this thing where he's honestly and sternly believed that John Cena was not a children's product, but there's 15 years of evidence that proves him wrong. But
like
Yeah,
a nerve or
he
what?
definitely was.
he's a
Are you
children.
talking like Thugonomics?
Okay, well after that, he's been 20 years since he's done that, Peanut. Like,
He brought it back during the Wyatt thing.
oh,
And
good.
that's why,
Yeah.
there's all those references on supposedly what he did during the Wyatt, like the Wyatt feud at
Yeah.
Mania.
Yeah. The
Was it
NWO
Mania?
shirt and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
that
the
whole thing where it was a bunch of flashbacks.
yes.
They referenced that. So like that's really what was supposed to happen. So it was referenced that this turn was gonna happen eventually. Just from that, that's what people were saying. Like that's where the whole where everything got fed from. That
Honestly,
this is what he supposedly did and what's gonna happen eventually.
As much
He
as-
will turn.
as much as I appreciate Triple H's booking, I don't think he's thinking that far ahead.
No, I didn't say he thought that far ahead. I'm just saying that I think they're feeding off that story. Like we still have that story from back in the day. Maybe people can reference it because they're
Maybe.
not always gonna mention it, but they're cool with referencing stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's the case because like some of the like, it's funny how a lot of the writers and producers in the back are old TNA guys because you start seeing like, glimpses of it, like Abyss, P.D. Williams, Jeremy Borash. They're all producers of matches now in WWE. And sometimes you kind of see it in matches, which is why a lot of those TNA guys are willing to jump over. AJ's one of them. She is chief among them. He got those guys to come over with him when they retired. But yeah, no, it's probably gonna be Cena, and I really don't want it to be, but that's probably what's gonna be the case. That would give Cody three main event losses at WrestleMania, but at least it's more than Punk will ever get. So that's Punk.
I think Cody goes away for a bit, They're gonna supposedly injure him either at Mania or after Mania, so he can at least take like a small vacation.
I mean, there is a possibility there because The Rock did say, like, you turned me down, I'm going to make you pay for it. So it is possible The Rock even comes out after the match. It just beats to help Cena beat the hell out of him again. That's possible too.
Yeah, because they're always gonna get their stars vacation, so where they leave for a little bit. So
Or
I wouldn't be surprised if it's either at Mania or maybe Raw after Mania.
Or does Cena and Rock find a hired gun from NXT that gets called up that night to beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes? Also potential there too.
Who would be this hired gun?
I don't know. Maybe Oba? I'm not
Maybe.
sure though. Or they've had. I mean, we've mentioned it before. It could be Hikuleo because they've had him contracted, just haven't done anything with him. One of the Rock's cousins comes out and helps Cena.
True,
I
because
mean,
that
that
could
would
be
be
the
funny.
other faction. How I was mentioning the different bloodlines.
Because I feel
So-
like The Rock is still kind of involved somehow in his own weird Rock way. So I don't know. Cody probably does need some time off though. He's worked his ass off for this moment. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on that.
because then you
But-
get Cena Orton Backlash, and then maybe. Oh yeah, we have still have Saturday Night's main event. You probably do the World Heavyweight title on that show. So say Jay does Saturday Night's main event, Cena defends at Backlash. That way they both get one in within a month of each other. And then you move on to the next, then you build up for your SummerSlam cards. Because that'll be only a few months away after that point. I guess we'll have to see. It's going to be a 2-night show, so it's going to be around 13, 14 matches for that one too. So that's going to be way bigger than it used to be. It was like 6 last year. It's going to be double the size now. So we'll see. What do you guys think is what would you guys want to see happen in the new fresh season of after WrestleMania, just to wrap this up?
I'll let Peanut go first on this one.
You want a real one, or you want my shenanigan? I was about to say
I mean, whatever you want.
the hired gun that's coming back and putting Cody on vacation. Right back.
God damn it. God damn it.
All right, but what I want to see new stars coming up, and not just everybody stay mid. I want certain ones, because everybody has a huge roster now, even though they say they don't. Like WWE has a inflated roster, but they have multiple shows where they pass everybody along, or they pass them to TNA when they're not being used.
Yeah,
Use the stars you have.
I hated Nick Khan saying, like, we, unlike the other show, we don't have anyone sitting on our bench. You're so full of shit, Nick Khan. Omos is still sitting in Japan. He hasn't done shit in 3 years on the main roster. What do you mean you don't have anyone sitting on the bench?
There's so many people that haven't wrestled.
You
so
just
long.
benched
Dude,
Alexa
come
Bliss. What do you mean you don't bench people? You benched Alexa Bliss, who, as soon as she came back, was the highest sold merch seller of all women on the roster.
on. Mhm. Yeah, Nick Khan's full of shit. What I want to see different people in the main event.
I do too.
I want to see people that haven't had it before up there. I'm cool with Tiffy staying up there. I'm cool with certain people staying up there. I don't want to see Flair again, at least for a while, or at least I want to see her putting people over.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring back certain stars, have them putting people over. They're vets. They don't need it.
Yeah.
If you want to have that random, like, oh, look at this this person from a long time ago, like the Dudleys or someone random, fine. Bring them back for like a match or two. I don't want to see them full time. I want to see new stars grow because I get it. Sometimes they don't want to lean on certain people because they don't see them as main event. But if you don't give them that shot, how are you gonna know?
Yeah, because like that was the thing. Again, we talked about before. That was the problem Vince had at the end of his tenure. He had a hard time getting past his '80s ways, and by 2010s, no one gave a fuck anymore about it. And Triple H is all Triple H. His whole era, this whole thing he's hanging his hat on is that this is a new era. We're making new people, and this is like he's starting to slowly put those pieces together on that. And now he's gonna start pulling the trigger on some of them. We mentioned Braun Breaker. He's gonna be freed up. Let's get him in there.
Yeah, like certain people I still want to see up there. I still want to see Gunther doing his thing because when he was Walter and everything, he was still dominant. I want to see Kaiser break away from Imperium.
Kaiser is actually really good by himself.
Exactly. That's why I want to see him by himself and having like that feud. I can see him having that feud against Gunther. They've been talking about that heel turn for such a long time. I want to see the third member of Imperium come back and cause this like ripple effect where all three of them are feuding. I want to see certain people jump up from the roster. I want to see Stephanie Kerr go up to the main roster. I want to see Julia on the main roster. They can keep on growing this factory that they have and just build from it because they know how to create stars. They gotta trust in them, and they gotta make sure that they grow together. Eventually, move up to the main roster. That's what we want to do, and then borrow some of the main roster guys and have them go lose to some NXT stars.
Yeah,
That's the only way to build your product.
they need to rebuild the men's NXT because I think they lost out in a lot of signings to AEW in the men's division. They made up for it in the women's, luckily, but now they gotta replenish that storage, especially if an Oba is available. They're gonna need some more help down there to make it.
With men's NXT, Naito's not gonna be enough.
Naito. No, it's not gonna be Naito at all. If anything, he's going to AEW or some shit to do like a bunch of different matches for them. He's gonna do like Forbidden Door and shit. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
But that
that's my main take of what I want to see.
But now we go to you, Dan. What do you want to see?
It's a lot of the stuff that Peanut already said. Like, I kind of want to see some new people getting the push that they deserve. Like, Peanut mentioned, like, Braun Breaker and a few others. Like, I want to see Braun Breaker get pushed into that main event because I believe he deserves it. But most of all, I just want their booking to make sense. Because I feel like a lot of it going into this WrestleMania just didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I just want to see some more coherent booking that actually makes sense and actually tells a good story, but also results in a good match.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's too much to ask. It probably is, but, like, I feel like it's very possible. It's very much a doable thing to just have what you're doing make sense.
Yeah, like these are the possibilities that are looking like during the next shakeup, maybe even starting next Raw, of possibilities coming up. Roxanne Perez, that's pretty much locked. It's possible that Trick Williams is gonna come up. I don't know what they're gonna do with him there. I could see him kind of end up going back with Carmelo because Carmelo really is kind of floundering on his own right now. I'm not sure what else they're gonna do with that at that point. They're gonna do some shakeups anyway. I feel like they're probably gonna move Gunther to SmackDown, shake that up a little bit because they kind of already have their Raw guys set, especially if like a Jay wins there, and you know what I mean, like they're gonna move some guys around. I think they're gonna move some guys around. Cody's gonna go away for a while, so yeah, you're gonna need your new stars, but they don't really have a lot of newer guys to pick from right now, other than like a Trick and Oba, but you have Braun Breaker, you could use them in there. so they have a Malachi Black coming after the SmackDown after WrestleMania. That could give you a little bit of a bit of a new look there, because he never really got a full opportunity last time he was there.
No.
So Malachi is a great option potentially there. Wyatt 6, find something for them to fucking do, guys. You have guys sitting. By the way, we don't bench anyone. They don't bench anyone. We have 4 people doing nothing on one faction, but okay.
We have an entire faction doing absolutely nothing.
Because one guy's injured, because we can't possibly film a vignette, like Peanut was saying. We can't possibly do that. We've never done that before. We've tried nothing, and we're out of ideas.
Like, if you're injured, what bumps are you taking to film a vignette? Come on. Fuck. When anybody's injured and they're becoming, let's say, the manager for someone else while they're healing, or if they are the main fucking leader of this group, have them film a vignette. You don't have to have him fighting every single time. And if he's injured, if he does the vignettes, he doesn't have to take a bump.
They had barely walking Undertaker do a pre-recorded Boneyard match, and it was fine.
The boner match?
The Boneyard match.
The boner match, yeah.
Well, of course.
So
Wrestle talk.
So if you could do that, you could simply just keep doing. His vignettes were great. Why you just keep doing them? I don't know.
Yeah, like, he's capable of walking. Just have him do the vignette and then do that slow walk while he points and like, hey, sick 'em, boys. And next you know it, Joe Gacy and Loomis just run down the ring and start stomping on everybody.
Yeah, he could just sit in that rocking chair and just laugh. Like
he looks and sounds like Bray. Just keep that going. The vignettes, and have him come out. He's not taking a bump. He's sitting on a chair or he's just pointing.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that we're talking about right there. They have guys right there that they're not using, and some of which they never really given a shot to. Give them the fucking chance, because we have these old guys all starting to leave now. Who was that
person in NXT that was with Xia Li that all she would do is sit on a throne?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. He can't hurt himself on the throne.
You had Mandy Rose leading her little tag team when she wasn't champion yet, because she was beat up. Like, you could have just. There's possibilities. You could do it. The women's division is gonna have to do a lot of carrying right now in terms of new stars. I want to see, they have that mid card. They have those 2 mid card belts. Build them up for the women's division. That's what I want to see. Actually, fucking do something with them. Don't give me Michin. I'm sorry, you built her as a jobber beforehand. You don't Jinder Mahal her and give her an opportunity. All right, just build somebody up. You have new people coming in. Build them up. They're trying to do it with B-Fab. I'm not really sure I get it with her, but at least they're trying somebody.
Well, at least they're attempting it.
Yeah, at least there's an attempt made.
Punjabi man.
Punjabi man. Bring back Greek Khali.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fresh face.
Versus almost?
Yeah.
Let's have a meat match.
That's not even 2 meats. That's just 2 icebergs.
It's just 2 trees that can't move.
That's 2 Lord of the Rings Ents with no powers.
That's 2 trees that are rooted to the ground.
Just chopping each other over and over again. And Vince is like, this
Pretty
is
much.
great shit.
Vince would be wetting himself over there.
Anyways,
Why do you think he booked Great Khali versus Big Show?
Yeah, it's the only reason, because he got a wet dream out of that.
Yeah.
And he was thinking about all that meat with Natalia. Yeah, dance for me.
Oh, well, on that note, that is WrestleMania 41, guys. I'll be back on for one of these kind of shows Soon. I know I know Peanut and I are probably gonna watch Double or Nothing. I know I said I wasn't gonna do it because I was very mad. But I'm not gonna not watch it. I'm a mark. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm a glutton in a lot of ways. Punishment is one of them. And I'm gonna end up watching Double or Nothing and probably get disappointed again because they're gonna be insistent on having Darby Allin do it, even though he doesn't give a fuck about wrestling. So,
And he still hasn't climbed Mount Everest.
he's climbing. He's up there now. He got an update. We got an update. Darby's up in the mountain. He's fine. He's doing good. Darby's doing good. Secretly, he's probably fucking died and they can't say anything yet. Like, Jesus Christ. Experienced climbers die on that mountain every year, Dan. This guy decided I'm going to start climbing one day. He's not a pro.
No, not even close.
He's gonna try it. But yeah, no. We'll be probably back for Double or Nothing. I'll be back for CWF tomorrow for sure. To wrap up AEW, SmackDown, and ECW. I don't know if Dan will be there or not, but
I might be.
Dan might be lurking. He might be around.
Am I the only one who's picturing right now Darby Allin trying to do a coffin drop off of
Oh,
Mount Everest?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Somehow hitting Jack Perry on the bottom.
Onto real
Jack
glass?
Perry, who's already on fire.
Onto real glass, too. Yeah, there you go, Peanut.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you guys for coming out. This will be on the YouTube feed as well this weekend. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you, Peanut, for being on. And thank you, Dan, for being on. Peanut, hope we can have you back for an actual episode, the interview podcast in the fall, if you're interested.
Yeah, I'd be interested in. I'm going to be doing mine pretty soon. Nutty Podcast. Hopefully going live pretty soon. And I will be looking for guests.
Sure, yeah. Like I said, I'll be on. You just let me know when, and I'll figure it out with you, man.
Sounds good.
And yeah, check out Peanut at his on his Twitch, and I keep forgetting how to fucking spell it because he has random goddamn numbers in there. Yeah.
Peanut 22. The E is actually a 3.
Yeah, and it's like capitalized too, isn't it?
No, it doesn't have to be capital when you're doing like shoutouts and stuff, or even looking for.
Oh, I didn't even do it. I didn't even do the shout out part. God damn it.
You're too focused on Joe Henry.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're right. Fuck's sakes. No! I'm distracted again! Check him out, for God's sakes! And I'll see you guys next time. Fucking Joe Hendry.